world of ancient mythology. A world of gods and heroes who were frequently ungodly and as often unheroic. But in almost every myth, there's a grain of reality. And in this series, we'll try to find the grain that exists in every legend. This voyage will take us to 3 continents and many countries, unearthing clues, piecing together fragments of fact and some marvelous fiction to do with the private lives, sometimes sensational, often deplorable, of our leading characters.
"Listen, Zeus," said Hera to her husband one day on Mount Olympus. "I hear you've got yourself a new mistress." You have. I know you have. It's that Titan Leto. She's even expecting your child. And Hera, true to form, proceeded to curse Zeus's mistress. "May your Leto search in vain for land firm enough to give birth to that child." But that wasn't enough for Hera. She sent Python, the horrible dragon, to make Leto's life miserable. Hounded by Python, Leto fled from place to place, unable to find a haven for her hour of labor. Until one day she found an island tossing about in the middle of the sea. Zeus could hardly have been called almighty if he couldn't do something for his mistress. So he made the island steady enough for Leto to give birth. The island was called Delos, and there Leto gave birth not to one child, but 2. Artemis and the beautiful Apollo, god of light, the protector of life and order, the great archer. Thanks to Greek artists, the island of Delos became a birthplace truly appropriate to a god with a string of titles like that. Apollo was the protector of life. With his silver bow, however, he could also destroy anyone, if he considered it necessary. One day, though, the great archer himself succumbed to the golden bow of the small god Eros, and Apollo was now to suffer great sadness and sorrow. Eros's arrow aroused a deep love in Apollo for Daphne. On her, however, Eros used another arrow, which filled her with antipathy for Apollo. For all his beauty and power, Apollo could make no impression on Daphne at all. With becoming modesty, she assumed that she was only having this trouble because she was so beautiful, and she asked the gods to transform her. So they transformed her into a tree. Perhaps the poor girl had something less drastic in mind. At any rate, this story inspired the sculptor Bernini to create his famous work, which stands today in the Borghese Villa in Rome. All this allegedly took place on what are today the outskirts of Athens, the spot that bears the name of that most wretched nymph, Daphne. Today our Byzantine church stands on the ruins of the Temple of Apollo. But to go back to Apollo's youth. A dolphin carried him on its back to Phocaida, the place where Python, the dragon, had its lair, the dragon that had hounded his mother. Apollo killed him. Simple Olympian justice. To obliterate the memory of that dragon and to honor his dolphin friend, he renamed the place Delphi. The Greeks have a saying, the traveler with only 2 days to spare in Greece must spend the second in Delphi. Delphi was considered in its time to be the center of the world. Obviously a focal point for tourists. Attracted, for example, by the ruins of Apollo's temple. Ruins dating from the 4th century BC, the time of its third reconstruction. The Pythian Games, held in the stadium of Delphi, was similar to the Olympic Games. The same starting grid, only the public is different. More important than the sports contests at the Pythian Games were the artistic competitions. The laurels of Delphi represented the highest recognition a Greek artist could hope for. Apollo's laurels live on today in the theater. Delphi has always been a mecca for visitors because of the Delphi Oracle. Pythia is said to have sat above a mist-enshrouded chasm, uttering cries, allegedly advice imparted by Apollo. We searched for the chasm. Could it have been this one? The priests who formulated the final version of the oracle did not hand these over free of charge. In return, they demanded gifts for Apollo. Towards the end of their time, the greediness of these Delphic priests became proverbial.
To us it seemed that this part of Delphi has not disappeared. The functions of the priests have been taken over by the custodians and the ticket sellers.
We have a ticket. We have a ticket. Make a photo.
No. No, tickets.
Why not?
Tickets in there for you, not for camera.
And
All right?
it is extra charge.
Extra touch, Athens.
Athens. No, in Athens.
Not here.
No, in Athens. Here. In. I tell you. I asked it in Athens. The church is paid here, and it is.
Hundreds of thousands of tourists coming from all over the world, willing to pay anything demanded of them by the modern counterparts of an ancient priesthood. Although they leave without an oracle, they take with them the experience of a lifetime. After all, one can't really visit Greece without seeing Apollo's Delphi.
To the right side.
When the Persians overran Greece, Xerxes' armies tried to plunder Delphi. There was an earthquake. These boulders came crashing down and made the Persians turn and run. It seemed that Apollo himself had come to save Delphi and